There are times in life when we find ourselves struggling, trapped in the grips of sadness, uncertainty, and emotional despair. It's a feeling that can consume us, leaving us feeling like we're drowning in a sea of negativity, with no clear path to the shore. Depression is like that. It doesn't announce itself, it simply arrives. And before we know it, it has taken hold of us, making us question our purpose, our worth, and our ability to rise above it all. It's in these moments that we must remember something critical. While the storm may seem relentless, it is possible to navigate through it and emerge stronger. The journey toward overcoming depression is not easy, but it is one that requires courage, commitment, and a deep belief in the possibility of brighter days. When depression sets in, it feels as though everything around us becomes clouded. The things that once brought us joy and excitement seem dull, and we start to lose connection with the world around us. We become trapped in our own minds, weighed down by an overwhelming sense of hopelessness. But let me tell you something that you may not believe right now. You are stronger than you think. You are capable of breaking free from this invisible prison. The first step in overcoming depression is acknowledging that it exists. Denial only fuels the darkness. It's essential to face the truth and recognize that you are struggling, but that struggling doesn't define you. You are not your depression, nor are you weak for experiencing it. The world has this tendency to paint depression as something that people should just get over or snap out of. This is a misconception. Depression is not something that can be ignored or wished away. It's real. But so are the countless ways we can begin to heal. The next step is to take responsibility for your own healing. There is no magic pill, no quick fix that will instantly erase the pain. Healing is a journey, one that takes time, persistence, and above all, self-compassion. You must commit to the process even when it feels difficult or impossible. Healing will not always be linear. Some days you will take steps forward, while other days you may feel like you're taking steps backward. But what's important is that you don't stop moving. Even if the pace feels slow, forward is still forward. One of the most powerful tools in overcoming depression is understanding the power of your mindset. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful. They shape your reality and your outlook on life. When you're depressed, your mind becomes clouded with negative thoughts, self-doubt, and feelings of worthlessness. But those thoughts do not define you, and they don't have to control you. Recognizing that you have the power to change the way you think is a crucial step in overcoming depression. Challenge your thoughts. Ask yourself if they are true or if they are simply a reflection of your current emotional state. Often we find that many of the things we believe about ourselves in our darkest moments are not accurate at all. Depression distorts our perception, convincing us that we are not enough, that we are unworthy, or that we will never be happy again. But these thoughts are not facts. They are simply the product of an emotional storm. By recognizing them as such, we can begin to shift our perspective and find hope once more. Another key element in overcoming depression is building a support system. Isolation is one of the greatest challenges that comes with depression. It's easy to retreat into yourself and avoid the people who care about you, especially when you feel like a burden or like no one will understand. But the truth is, you don't have to go through this alone. There are people who want to help, people who care deeply about you. Reach out to them. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to admit that you need someone to lean on. You don't have to be strong all the time. The people who love you want to be there for you, and in doing so, they can provide you with the strength you need when your own feels lacking. Therapy and counseling can also play a crucial role in the healing process. Sometimes the weight of depression is too much to bear on your own, and having a professional to guide you through the emotional labyrinth can make a world of difference. Therapy isn't about just talking, it's about learning new strategies to cope, gaining a deeper understanding of yourself, and developing tools that will help you manage and ultimately overcome the depression. Therapy provides a safe space where you can explore your feelings without judgment, where you can unravel the layers of pain and confusion that depression brings. It's an investment in your mental health, one that will pay dividends as you continue to move forward. Physical health also plays a crucial role in mental well-being. It's easy to neglect your body when you're depressed, but your body and mind are interconnected. When you treat your body well, your mind has a better chance of thriving. Exercise, healthy eating, and getting enough rest all contribute to your overall emotional health. Exercise, in particular, has been shown to have a profound impact on mental health. Physical activity releases endorphins, the body's natural mood boosters. Even something as simple as going for a walk every day can make a significant difference in how you feel. Sleep is another area that requires attention. Depression can wreak havoc on your sleep patterns, leaving you feeling drained and exhausted. But getting enough rest is crucial for emotional recovery. When you're well rested, you're better equipped to handle the challenges of each day. Establishing a regular sleep routine and creating a peaceful sleep environment can help you achieve the rest you need. Another powerful method of healing is embracing mindfulness and meditation. In the midst of depression, our minds are often racing, consumed with negative thoughts and overwhelming emotions. Mindfulness allows us to slow down, focus on the present moment, and observe our thoughts without judgment. It teaches us to accept our feelings without letting them define us, creating space for healing and growth. Meditation in particular can help you connect with your inner self, allowing you to gain perspective and clarity, even in the midst of emotional turmoil. But perhaps the most essential part of overcoming depression is developing resilience, the ability to rise again after each fall. Life is full of challenges, and while depression is certainly one of the most difficult, it is not insurmountable. Resilience is built through persistence, through the belief that you can overcome what life throws your way. It's about learning to embrace setbacks as part of the journey, not as the end of the road. Each challenge you face, each step you take toward healing makes you stronger. And with each small victory, you move closer to the person you are meant to be. In your journey toward overcoming depression, it's important to remember that healing is not a destination, it's a process. It's a series of small steps, often taken one at a time, that gradually lead you toward a place of peace and emotional well-being. There will be days when you feel overwhelmed and hopeless, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you've failed or that progress is impossible. It simply means that healing is a process, and it's okay to take your time. Above all, remember, this depression does not define you. You are more than your struggles, more than your darkest thoughts. You are capable of immense growth, strength, and resilience. Even in your weakest moments, you possess the ability to rise. Embrace your healing journey with patience and compassion, knowing that each step forward is a victory. When you face your struggles with determination and hope, there is nothing that can stop you from achieving the peace and happiness you deserve. There is a powerful truth that many people struggling with depression often resist. Acknowledging and accepting the presence of that struggle is the first and most important step toward healing. It is human nature to want to avoid discomfort, to push away the difficult emotions, and to try to convince ourselves that everything is fine when we know deep down that it isn't. But in doing so, we only extend the suffering, making it harder to move forward. It may seem counterintuitive, but the path to recovery begins not by PR. Pretending the problem doesn't exist, but by embracing it for what it is, a real and present challenge. The reason why accepting the struggle is so crucial is that it helps to dismantle the isolation that often accompanies depression. When we don't acknowledge that we are struggling, we end up burying our emotions under a facade of normalcy. We put on a mask that we think will make us appear strong, capable, and unaffected by the world around us. However, this mask is a form of self-deception. It may shield others from seeing our pain, but it also keeps us from confronting the reality of what we are going through. Over time, the weight of keeping up this facade can become unbearable, leading to even deeper feelings of sadness, shame, and inadequacy. The truth is that accepting our struggle is not a sign of weakness. It doesn't mean that we are giving up or resigning ourselves to a life of despair. Instead, it means we are acknowledging that we are facing a challenge, one that requires attention, care, and effort to overcome. Accepting the struggle allows us to honor our emotions, to give ourselves the space to process the pain and to take the necessary steps toward healing. In this acceptance, we are not passively submitting to the depression, rather, we are actively engaging with our reality and preparing ourselves to take the necessary actions to improve our mental and emotional health. There is also a deeper psychological benefit to accepting our struggles. When we deny the presence of depression or suppress our emotions, we are essentially invalidating our experiences. This can lead to feelings of frustration, confusion, and anger, as we wrestle with the contradiction between what we feel and what we believe we should feel. The disconnect between our internal reality and the external expectations we place on ourselves can amplify the pain and make it feel even more overwhelming. However, by acknowledging and accepting that depression is a part of our current experience, we give ourselves permission to feel what we are feeling, without judgment or guilt. This validation is essential for emotional healing because it creates a safe space for us to fully process our emotions without the added burden of self-criticism. Moreover, acceptance helps to break down the walls of shame and self-blame that often accompany depression. Many people who suffer from depression feel as though they are somehow failing because they are struggling with their emotions. Society often reinforces this idea with its emphasis on toughing it out, getting over it, or simply pulling yourself together. These messages are not only harmful, but they also perpetuate the stigma surrounding mental health struggles. When we accept that we are struggling, we are also acknowledging that it is okay to not be okay. We remove the shame from the experience, understanding that we are not weak for having these feelings, we are simply human. It's important to recognize that acceptance doesn't mean resignation. Accepting that you are struggling with depression doesn't mean giving up on yourself or your journey toward healing. On the contrary, acceptance is a powerful act of self-compassion. It is the first step in showing yourself the same love, kindness, and patience that you would offer a friend in a similar situation. If you could see yourself through the eyes of a loved one, you would understand that struggling with mental health does not diminish your value as a person. Instead, it shows your courage in the face of adversity and your capacity for growth. Accepting the struggle allows you to step away from self-criticism and open yourself up to the possibility of change. When we accept the struggle, we also allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in reality, it is one of the greatest strengths we can cultivate. To be vulnerable is to acknowledge that we are not invincible, that we have limitations, and that we need help from others. It is only through vulnerability that we can connect with others on a deeper level, opening the door for compassion, support, and understanding. When we accept that we are struggling with depression, we allow ourselves to reach out to others for help, knowing that it is okay to need assistance and that asking for help does not diminish our worth. Acceptance also involves recognizing that healing is a process, one that cannot be rushed or forced. In our fast-paced world, we are often conditioned to expect quick fixes and instant results. We want to feel better now, and when we don't, we become frustrated and disheartened. However, depression is not something that can be cured overnight. It is a complex and deeply personal experience that takes time to work through. By accepting that healing is a process, we remove the pressure to fix ourselves immediately, giving ourselves the grace to move at our own pace. This acceptance of the process also helps to mitigate the fear and anxiety that often accompanies depression. When we are in the throes of emotional turmoil, it's easy to feel as though we will never escape the darkness. We may convince ourselves that this is our new reality, that we will always feel this way. But by accepting that healing is a journey and not a destination, we open ourselves to the possibility of gradual improvement. Each small step forward, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is a victory. Healing is not about making giant leaps all at once. It's about taking consistent, compassionate steps toward recovery, trusting that each one will eventually lead to a brighter place. There are also practical reasons why acceptance is a vital component of healing from depression. When we refuse to acknowledge our struggle, we often try to avoid or suppress the emotions that accompany depression. This can lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as substance abuse, overeating, or other forms of self-destructive behavior. These behaviors only provide temporary relief, and in the long run, they make the depression worse. Acceptance, on the other hand, encourages us to face our emotions directly and deal with them in healthy ways. This may involve talking to a trusted friend, seeking professional help, journaling our thoughts, or engaging in physical activity. By accepting the struggle, we create an opportunity for healthy coping mechanisms to take root, helping us to better manage our emotions in the long term. In many ways, acceptance serves as the foundation for everything else we do in the healing process. It is the starting point that allows us to move forward with intention and purpose. Without accepting the struggle, we may continue to deny the pain, which only prolongs the suffering and delays our healing. But when we accept the reality of our emotions, we can then begin to take proactive steps to address them, whether that involves therapy, self-care, or building a support network. It's also worth noting that accepting the struggle does not mean accepting depression as a permanent part of your life. Acceptance is not about resigning yourself to a life of despair. It is simply about recognizing that you are currently facing a difficult challenge and that it is okay to acknowledge that fact. Depression is not a life sentence. It is a battle that can be fought and won. Acceptance is the first step in that fight. It is the moment when we say to ourselves, yes, this is hard. Yes, this is painful. But I am willing to face it head on and take the necessary steps to heal. In the end, accepting the struggle of depression is a courageous act. It takes strength to face the darkness, to admit that we are hurting, and to allow ourselves to feel vulnerable. But it is also the key to unlocking the possibility of healing. When we accept our struggles, we free ourselves from the burden of denial and self-blame. We give ourselves permission to heal, to seek help, and to take the steps necessary to reclaim our lives. It's not an easy path, but it is the most powerful one we can take. Through acceptance, we begin to rebuild the foundation of our emotional health, piece by piece, with patience, love, and compassion. Shifting your mindset and challenging negative thoughts is one of the most powerful tools in overcoming depression. It's easy to get trapped in a cycle of negative thinking when you're feeling down or overwhelmed, and these thoughts can create a feedback loop that makes the depression feel even more unshakable. Negative thoughts have a way of convincing us that they are the truth. They distort our perception of ourselves, of others, and of the world. They tell us that we are unworthy, that things will never get better, and that we are powerless in the face of our emotions. But the truth is, these negative thoughts are not facts, they are simply products of our emotional state. By learning to recognize them for what they are and challenging them, we can begin to break free from their grip and move toward healing. The first step in shifting your mindset is to understand the power that your thoughts have over your emotions and your behaviors. Our thoughts are not just abstract things that exist in our heads, they shape the way we experience the world. When we think negatively about ourselves or about a situation, we start to feel anxious, sad, or hopeless. These emotions, in turn, influence the actions we take or don't take. If you believe that you are unworthy of happiness or that you will never be able to overcome your struggles, you may begin to withdraw from others, neglect your own needs, or give up on your goals. Negative thoughts can sabotage even the best of intentions, making it harder to move forward and find solutions. One of the key insights in shifting your mindset is understanding that you have the ability to control your thoughts. This is not to say that you can simply choose to stop thinking negatively on a whim. It's a process. It requires awareness and effort. But with practice, you can learn to become more conscious of your thought patterns and begin to replace negative thoughts with more positive and realistic ones. This is not about denying or suppressing your feelings, it's about choosing to respond to them in a healthier way. The first step in challenging negative thoughts is to recognize them when they arise. Often we are so accustomed to our negative thought patterns that we don't even notice when they take hold of us. They come and go like background noise, influencing the way we feel without us even realizing it. Becoming aware of these thoughts is the first step toward breaking their power. Pay attention to the thoughts that come up when you're feeling down or anxious. Are you telling yourself that you're not good enough? That you're a failure? That things will never improve? These are examples of negative thought patterns that fuel depression. By noticing these thoughts as they arise, you can begin to distance yourself from them and prevent them from taking root. Once you've identified a negative thought, the next step is to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is there evidence to support it? Often, when we're in the midst of depression, our minds become clouded and we start to believe things that are not necessarily true. For example, if you think, I'm a failure, you might ask yourself, what evidence do I have that supports this? Maybe you face some setbacks or challenges, but does that truly make you a failure? Or could it simply mean that you've encountered difficulties that everyone faces at some point? Challenging negative thoughts is about questioning their validity and looking for evidence that contradicts them. Often, when we take the time to reflect on the facts, we realize that our negative thoughts are exaggerated or distorted. Another effective technique for challenging negative thoughts is to reframe them. Reframing involves taking a negative thought and turning it into something more positive or constructive. For example, if you think, I'll never be happy again, you might reframe that thought to something like, I'm struggling right now, but that doesn't mean happiness is out of reach. I have the power to work through this and find joy again. Reframing doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending that everything is fine. It means acknowledging the challenge while also recognizing your ability to overcome it. This shift in perspective can help you feel more hopeful and empowered, even in the midst of difficult emotions. Another important aspect of shifting your mindset is practicing self-compassion. Depression often comes with a harsh inner critic, an internal voice that tells you that you're not doing enough, that you're not good enough, or that you don't deserve happiness. This inner critic can be incredibly damaging, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and shame. But self-compassion is the antidote to this negativity. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding that you would offer a friend who is going through a tough time. Instead of berating yourself for feeling down or making mistakes, you offer yourself support and understanding. You remind yourself that it's okay to struggle, that everyone has setbacks, and that you deserve care and compassion, especially when you're feeling low. Self-compassion helps to quiet the inner critic and create a more nurturing inner dialogue, which in turn fosters emotional healing. In addition to self-compassion, another effective strategy for shifting your mindset is to focus on gratitude. When you're depressed, it can be difficult to see anything positive in your life. Everything may feel overwhelming and bleak. But practicing gratitude, even in small doses, can help shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right. Start by acknowledging one or two things each day that you are grateful for. It could be something as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a kind gesture from a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. Gratitude helps to rewire your brain, shifting it away from negative thinking and allowing you to appreciate the positive aspects of your life. Over time, this practice can help you build a more optimistic mindset and make it easier to focus on the good rather than the bad. Another powerful tool for challenging negative thoughts is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment. When we are depressed, our minds often spiral into worry about the future or rumination about the past. We replay old mistakes, obsess over what we could have done differently, and imagine worst-case scenarios. Mindfulness helps to break this cycle by encouraging us to focus on the present moment. By bringing our attention to our breath, our surroundings, or our sensations, we can begin to detach from the negative thoughts that are keeping us trapped in a cycle of negativity. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts without becoming consumed by them. Instead of reacting to a negative thought, we can simply notice it and let it pass, creating space between ourselves and the thought. It's also important to recognize that shifting your mindset is not about perfection. Shifting your mindset is also about learning to be patient with yourself. Depression doesn't go away overnight, and changing the way you think takes time and practice. Be gentle with yourself as you work to reframe negative thoughts and adopt a healthier mindset. It's normal to struggle, and it's okay to have setbacks along the way. The key is to keep moving forward, even when it feels difficult. With each step you take toward challenging your negative thoughts and shifting your mindset, you are building the foundation for healing. In the process of shifting your mindset, you may also want to incorporate positive affirmations into your daily routine. Affirmations are short, positive statements that you repeat to yourself, such as "I am worthy of love and happiness," or "I am strong and capable of overcoming challenges." These affirmations can help to counteract negative thoughts and reinforce a more positive and empowering belief system. Repeating affirmations daily can gradually rewire your brain, replacing old limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. It's important to choose affirmations that resonate with you personally, as they will be more effective if they feel authentic. As you work to shift your mindset, remember that this is a process, not an overnight fix. It requires effort, practice, and a willingness to challenge the thoughts that hold you back. But with time, you will begin to notice a shift in the way you perceive yourself and your circumstances. Negative thoughts will still arise, but you will have the tools to challenge them and choose a healthier, more realistic perspective. Over time, this will help to lift the weight of depression and empower you to move forward with hope, resilience, and a renewed sense of possibility. Building a support system and seeking professional help are two of the most vital steps in overcoming depression. When battling depression, it's easy to feel isolated, as though you are alone in your struggle. It can seem like no one truly understands the depths of your pain, and that sense of loneliness can make the depression feel even heavier. But one of the most crucial things to remember is that you don't have to face this battle alone. Having a strong, supportive network of friends, family, and professionals can make all the difference. The importance of connecting with others during this time cannot be overstated, as social support helps to counteract the isolation that depression often brings. At the same time, seeking professional help is essential in guiding you through the healing process and providing the tools needed to manage depression effectively. The first step in building a support system is recognizing that you deserve support. Depression often convinces us that we are unworthy of help, that we are a burden to others, or that no one would want to help us. These thoughts can keep us isolated, withdrawing further into ourselves and pushing others away. However, this is one of the most damaging aspects of depression. It feeds into the cycle of loneliness and despair, making it harder to reach out and break free from the grip of negative thinking. The truth is, no one should have to go through life's struggles alone, especially when dealing with a mental health challenge as serious as depression. It's not a sign of weakness to seek help. It's a brave and powerful act of self-care. Start by reaching out to the people closest to you, those who have shown empathy and understanding in the past. It may not be easy to share your struggles, but it's important to allow yourself to be vulnerable with people you trust. Sometimes the very act of opening up can lighten the emotional burden you're carrying. Even if they don't have all the answers, just knowing that someone is there to listen can provide immense comfort. Friends, family, and loved ones can offer emotional support, reassurance, and a reminder that you are not alone in your journey. They can offer a sense of connection that is often missing when you're immersed in depression's isolating effects. It's also important to communicate your needs clearly with those you confide in. Sometimes people may want to help but don't know how, especially if they've never experienced depression themselves. Let them know what kind of support would be most helpful. It might be that you simply need someone to listen, or it could be that you need assistance with day-to-day tasks or activities. Being open and specific about your needs helps to ensure that you get the support that's best suited for your situation. While personal relationships are crucial, it's also important to recognize that not everyone in your social circle will be able to fully understand or provide the support you need. This is where professional help becomes invaluable. Seeking help from a trained therapist or counselor can provide a level of expertise and objectivity that friends and family may not be able to offer. A mental health professional can help you navigate the complex emotions associated with depression and provide strategies for managing those feelings. They are trained to offer support without judgment, allowing you to express yourself freely and openly. Therapy can take many forms, and different approaches may work for different individuals. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is one of the most widely used methods for treating depression. CBT focuses on identifying and challenging negative thought patterns and replacing them with healthier, more constructive ones. It helps you become more aware of how your thoughts influence your emotions and behaviors, giving you the tools to break free from the cycle of negative thinking that often perpetuates depression. Other forms of therapy, such as dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, or interpersonal therapy, IPT, may focus on managing intense emotions or improving interpersonal relationships, which are also key factors in mental health. In addition to therapy, medication may also be recommended by a mental health professional. Antidepressants can help to balance the chemicals in the brain that influence mood and emotions. While medication is not a cure-all, it can be an essential part of the treatment process for some people, especially when depression is severe or chronic. It's important to work closely with a doctor or psychiatrist to find the right medication and dosage for you. Some people may experience side effects, and it can take time to find the right balance, but with professional guidance, medication can be a valuable tool in managing depression. There's also a growing understanding of the importance of combining professional treatment with self-care practices. While therapy and medication are essential for many people, they can be most effective when complemented by healthy lifestyle choices. For example, regular exercise, a balanced diet, and sufficient sleep all contribute to improved mental health. Taking care of your physical health can have a direct impact on your emotional well-being. In addition, mindfulness practices like meditation and deep breathing exercises can help to reduce stress and increase emotional resilience. These self-care practices can support the healing process and work alongside professional treatment to create a holistic approach to managing depression. Finding the right professional support is a personal process. Not every therapist or doctor will be the right fit for you, and it's okay to seek out someone who feels like a good match. It's important to feel comfortable with your mental health provider, as therapy requires vulnerability and trust. If you don't feel that a particular therapist is helping, don't be afraid to try someone else. You deserve to have a professional who understands your needs and helps you feel heard, validated, and supported throughout your healing journey. In addition to professional therapy and medication, there are other types of support systems that can aid in the recovery process. Group therapy is one such option. Group therapy provides a space for people who are experiencing similar challenges to come together, share their experiences, and offer each other support. Knowing that you are not the only one going through a particular struggle can be incredibly comforting and empowering. Group therapy fosters a sense of community and connection, helping to reduce the isolation that often comes with depression. It also offers a safe space for practicing social skills and building relationships, which can be especially beneficial for those who have withdrawn from social interactions due to their depression. Support groups, both in person and online, can also provide a sense of belonging and understanding. These groups are often centered around specific issues or conditions such as depression, anxiety, or grief, and offer a platform for individuals to share their stories and coping strategies. While support groups are not a substitute for professional therapy, they can complement other forms of treatment by providing peer support and a sense of solidarity. In building your support system, it's important to remember that not all support will come from the same place or in the same form. It's okay to have a variety of people and resources to rely on. Some individuals may offer emotional support, while others might provide practical assistance, such as helping with daily tasks or offering a distraction from negative thoughts. It's also important to recognize that not everyone will fully understand the nature of depression, and that's okay. What's most important is finding people who are willing to listen, offer empathy, and be there for you when you need them. Sometimes, even with the best intentions, family and friends may struggle to understand the depth of depression. This can lead to frustration or misunderstandings. It's essential to communicate openly and honestly about what you are experiencing and what you need from them. Education about depression can also be helpful, as it provides those around you with a better understanding of the condition. Providing articles, books, or other resources can help friends and family members become more informed and better equipped to support you in your journey. In addition to building a personal support system, it's important to practice being open to receiving help. People may offer their assistance, but it can be difficult to accept it when you're in the midst of depression. Depression can make you feel undeserving of help, or it may make you feel like a burden. However, it's crucial to remember that accepting support from others is a strength, not a weakness. It's an acknowledgement that you are worthy of care, that you don't have to go through this journey alone, and that reaching out for help is a sign of resilience, not failure. In many ways, allowing others to support you can also help to build your own strength. By recognizing the importance of community and accepting the love and care of those around you, you are building a foundation for emotional healing. In seeking professional help, one of the most important things to remember is that there is no shame in doing so. Just as we would see a doctor for a physical ailment, it's essential to treat our mental health with the same level of care and attention. Mental health professionals are trained to help individuals navigate the complexities of depression and provide the tools necessary to work through it. Whether it's therapy, medication, or a combination of both, professional treatment can be life-changing and is often necessary for those who are struggling with severe or persistent depression. Building a strong support system and seeking professional help are not just options, they are essential components of the healing process. Depression is a complex and multifaceted condition that requires a multifaceted approach to overcome. By surrounding yourself with understanding, compassionate people, and seeking the expertise of mental health professionals, you are giving yourself the best chance at recovery. With time, support, and the right treatment, you can begin to rebuild your life step by step.